You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I am the terror that flaps in the night. Wait, that's the wrong...
That's Disney.
That's Disney, not Warner Brothers. I am your host, Mike Finkelstein. Joined in the booth, as always, is...
Josh, used to disappointment, Schaefer.
When it comes to Warner Brothers and the DCEU, yes. Okay, so let's launch right into this, because I feel like your not intentional segue, but absolutely a segue helps us out. I didn't know the DCEU could disappoint me any more than it already had.
I feel like it's like this weird, like, trading places bet where they're betting $1 to see how bad they can screw up an entire franchise.
Right? Like, okay, so we already knew it was going to be kind of a train wreck because of The Flash. Like,
yeah.
Ezra Miller being Ezra Miller and all the shit that's come out about him, including more stuff after Batgirl got canceled.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if Ezra Miller is most likely, allegedly, whatever you want to say, diddling kids or grooming kids.
Or anything.
Yeah. Makes sense to cancel Batwoman. Or girl.
Batgirl, right?
Batgirl,
the movie he's not in at all.
Yeah, cancel Batgirl as a sign of solidarity to pedophiles, I guess. I don't know.
But that's the thing. It's like, Ezra Miller's a train wreck. We knew his movie was going to be a train wreck no matter... Even if it's fucking fantastic, how do you watch it in good conscience? We discovered
It's like watching a Kevin Spacey movie.
Yeah, right. Like, I can't even go back and watch The Usual Suspects anymore.
I can't either.
It's a fantastic fucking movie.
Yeah.
But it's tainted. Him and Bryan Singer tainted that movie permanently. But...
Ugh, sorry, I just remembered Baby Driver exists, and I'm sad that I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, again, another one. I mentioned that recently on the site as well. But, so, I get if they were like, well, we're going to just eat $200 million that we spent on this and get like a $50 million tax write-off. I don't think a single fucking person would have been sad. Like, yes, we lost Michael Keaton as Batman for one movie, but oh darn, we don't have to, like, rend our garments over fucking Ezra Miller. Yeah. But they canceled Batgirl instead.
Yeah. And as far as I know, is Amber Heard still in Aquaman 2? Or did they reshoot that?
Okay, I don't really want to get into the Amber Heard stuff, because there's a lot of he said, she said between her and...
No, it's just from a business perspective... I think both of them are absolute human garbage. But you cancel the movie that everyone was interested in for the DCEU. Yeah, it was supposed to go straight to HBO, and it wasn't going to be theatrical, and they only want to focus on theatrical movies. And Batgirl was too far along in the process to convert easily to theater. I think that argument, even if it did look like ass, is hard to swallow because, I mean, you get Disney releasing the... fucking Inhumans in IMAX for a weekend. Like, if that can't taint a brand, how can Batgirl taint the WB, you know? Justice League pre-Snyder cut?
Yeah. Like, there have been way worse moves than taking a made-for-TV movie and just being like, let's just put it out for a week or two on, like, Fathom events, you know? Yeah.
Fathom. I forgot that was a thing.
I know, right? Every once in a while I go to the movies and I still see Fathom events advertising some dumb bullshit. We're doing the opera again. No one cares about the opera at movie theaters, guys. No. No one cares about the opera, guys. I mean, let's... No. We've moved on. As a society, we've moved on. We haven't moved on from Batgirl, though, and I'm pissed about this.
I am, too.
Yeah.
It just seems like... I would rather them have said something like, all of our footage was accidentally deleted by North Korean spy. I would have been okay with that. Like, just lie to me. Don't...
Well, it's like, reportedly it's going to take another $30 million or so to finish The Flash, just for reshoots.
Yeah.
And you have to think, okay, you could take the write-off on The Flash, maybe spend $50 million fixing up Batgirl a little more, and you'd have a movie with a Hispanic lead who... that isn't somehow tainted by everything.
Yeah. It's like, we want to make a shared universe equal to Marvel, but we don't want to put any effort into doing it.
No. Okay. The only way that they could make a shared universe equal to Marvel is if they stopped making any movies in their shared universe for like 5 years. So everyone moved on. And then you recast all the roles, and you start from scratch, and you do it the right way.
Yep.
But they don't want to do that.
Nope.
They want to come in and have a 10-year plan from day one that doesn't involve 5 years off.
Yeah. Or just use a superhero that's not part of the big three, like Shazam, which is already there. Which, by the way, Black Adam looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, So you got Black Adam and you have Shazam that exist in the New Line Cinemaverse. And aside from a trailer for Shazam that sort of makes it looks like it's in the DCEU, it's not in the DCEU.
No.
You could just join those two together, do an Earth 2 over here.
Yeah. And
quietly ignore everything else, because every hero that's shown up in there isn't in the main DCEU.
Yeah.
And you just do that and just use it as your launching point.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Done. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
You put out Aquaman 2, which people want to see. You put out whatever other projects you have in there. You move some other projects over to Earth 2, like Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
That's coming out. And then you just be like, okay, this is our new universe. Ignore the old one. This is the new DC Super Tomorrowverse or something.
Super Tomorrowverse.
Well, the Tomorrowverse is the new animated one they're doing right now. Yeah, so,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd that name come from?
Yeah, the 4 or 5 linked movies they put out recently after they rebooted their animated movies, they're the Tomorrowverse. So.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Only I care about this because I have to organize shit on the website.
Yeah. Well, at least their animated stuff's still pretty decent.
Yeah, usually.
Because the Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy stuff's been fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, people don't know where certain things are going to go behind the scenes of HBO, so we can transition to this while we're talking about stuff. Because so much has been canceled and just straight up removed from the app, which... Why remove stuff from the app? Except people are saying they just don't want to pay residuals, which is bullshit.
Yeah, because they canceled all of the Cartoon Network stuff, I think.
Pretty much everything, yeah. And then removed it from the app entirely. Cartoon Network is actually taking some of those shows back to finish running what's been produced. But still, like, come on.
Yeah, it seems a little shady, too.
Right?
Because it's like essentially the stuff that's not going to be picked up is just erased from existence.
Yeah, like, okay, so I didn't like the Aquaman cartoon. I thought it was dumb.
Oh, yeah, no.
King of Atlantis, it was terrible. I watched all 3 episodes and wish I'd gotten that 2 hours of my life back.
Oof.
But they're removing it. And I'm like, I didn't like it, but I'm not a 6-year-old that grew up on, like, Adventure Time or something. Yeah. Some kid's gonna love this thing.
I loved Adventure Time, and Aquaman was not it.
Well, but there was a certain artistic and comedy style there that I knew would appeal to someone who grew up with those kinds of cartoons. To remove that and remove a link to the larger DC universe seems like a huge mistake, but they're doing it anyway.
Especially since Aquaman 2's coming out.
Right? Like, this seemed like the perfect link in there.
And DC doesn't have any good, like... Because it all comes down to, like, toys, right? Like, what does DC have?
They don't have anything that's really producing toys right now. Like, most of the stuff that I see that comes out is, like, repros of animated series bullshit and stuff like that. Yeah.
I did find, on accident, on the very bottom shelf at Target, like, behind a whole bunch of stuff, Hawkman ship from Black Adam. With a tiny little Hawkman in it.
So you bought it.
So, of course.
Of course you bought it,
Yeah.
Yeah. One day when you win the lottery, you'll buy that $1,500 statue.
They made a Hawkgirl one equivalent.
So you're going to buy both of them and then put them out front on your doorstep,
well,
right?
obviously.
Yeah.
And people are like, who lives there? Cool guy, probably.
All 14 people that care will think that.
Hey, Hawkman's about to be big. He's going to be in a whole movie.
As a side character.
Yeah, but we know what happens. DC will say, wow, he's popular. And then guess what? Franchise?
No, actually, what they'll say is, wow, he's popular. Let's give him a movie and then cancel after we spend $90 million on it and eat the tax write-off.
Yeah, you're right.
No!
Now there's going to be 7 Hawkman fans. Ugh. But Hawkman does look cool, though.
See? And actually, all of Black Adam looks pretty decent.
Yeah. And The Rock seems like he's actually, like...
He's wanted to make this movie for, like, a decade.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's been moved back, and The Flash has been moved back further, presumably for even more tinkering. And, like, other stuff's been moved around and so forth, which is just usual Hollywood bullshit. But you get the vibe that the guy that's coming in, David Zaslav, or whatever the fuck his name is, the Discovery guy. He was president of Discovery, oversaw the launch of Discovery Plus, and now he's taking over as the lead on HBO and HBO Max as well, and everything else at Warner Brothers. He's the guy that's making all these decisions, and you get the vibe that he doesn't understand how scripted programming works.
I always just assumed that whoever was making those decisions just didn't like TV.
Well, I mean, he's a reality TV guy. Like, anyone who works at Discovery and all the channels linked to it, that's reality.
My fault for getting that Discovery doesn't do nature documentaries anymore.
Right. Discovery and HGTV and TLC and all those fucking link channels, however many there are, they're all tied up together in, like, reality programming. Yeah. And reality programming is cheap.
Yes.
Dirt cheap. You set up some sets, and then you just film some people, and you spend, like, a couple $1,000s an episode. Like, HBO just put out House of the Dragon, and that's, what, like, $10 million an episode or some shit like that?
Have you watched it, or did you watch it?
I watched the pilot.
Was it good?
No.
Okay.
we can talk about that in a second if you want. But...
Well, I didn't. I am just like straight up. Not. I wouldn't say boycotting. Like a soft boycott. Like I don't care if people watch it, but it's not for me.
Well, we'll cover House of the Dragon over in an outtake. But so it's the thing though of you're marrying a reality TV service to a scripted service,
right,
and putting the reality guy in charge of it. Like, I think you could put a scripted guy in charge of reality because he's like, this is one fraction of our budget. You know what? Just keep doing what you're doing and throw money at the problem. Whatever.
That makes it easy.
Yeah. The reality guy taking over on scripted is going to look at it and go, I can produce shows for $2,000 an episode, and you want me to spend how many millions an episode? No, we need to do this. We have to scrap everything and start over, and that's basically what you're seeing. Like.
Although I would watch a real world with superheroes, like Robot Chicken used to do.
But it's got to be JLI?
JLI, yeah.
Just like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle just hanging out and just like bitching about each other. Yep. Yeah, no,
Max
that would be
Lord
great.
Being the straight guy.
Yeah. Don't even script it. Just like get some good comedians that can ad-lib. Yeah. Give them a plot idea and just let them go for a half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good.
You're welcome, Warner Brothers. One of these days, you're just going to get a phone call from someone random. It's like, do you guys want to run a show for us? And I'll be like, no, thank you, Netflix.
More likely, I expect just get a cease and desist saying, stop talking about our programming.
Ooh, cease and desist.
Yeah, C and D.
I've never got one of those before that I know of.
But yeah, no, it's amazing to me what the fuck is going on at DC. Like, I think the real problem is that Warner Brothers bought DC back in the day.
Yes.
And Warner Brothers clearly doesn't understand what to do with DC.
Right.
Like, from the minute they started making Superman movies, they were like, Superman's not bankable. And then Superman 1 did a ton of money back in 78. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, let's executive meddle on this from this point forward. And they basically drove that series into the ground, cost-cutting every step of the way.
Superman
4, which they brought in, the Carlo Co guys or whatever. And that was just like, oh my God, so terrible. They had a winning thing with Batman and Batman Returns. Mm-hmm. As much as I don't like Batman Returns, Tim Burton did have a vision. Mm-hmm. Fucking Tim Burton.
Danny DeVito was cool.
And they were like, this is too dark and didn't do quite the many millions of dollars of the first one. We need to executive meddle everything and kick Tim Burton out, which ruined that franchise.
Who did was it Batman Returns?
Batman
Was that
Forever?
Batman Forever?
Batman Forever and Robin were done by Joel Schumacher with the bat nipples.
Oh, both of them were Joel?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just remember Tommy Lee Jones being Two-Face, and that's about it.
Awful. Yeah.
Jim Carrey was the Riddler.
Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey. He just put on some green pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then since then, I mean, they haven't really figured out Superman Returns was trash in its own weird way.
Yeah, which sucks because Brandon Routh was
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. And then Man of Steel
which also sucked because they cast Superman very well.
Yeah,
but
they didn't know what to do with
it.
Just over and over again, they keep fucking up key points of each movie so that none of them work to the point that they are. Even Wonder Woman, which I liked, has a terrible third act that's very Zack Snyder and doesn't fit the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Because at first you're like, wow, this is...
Yeah, it's so great, and the movie should have ended when she walked across the field.
Yep, and then 84.
Yeah, 84 is just hot garbage. Which I don't blame DC for that one. That one feels like they let the creators go have their field day, and for once DC maybe should have reined them in just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That story was all over the place.
So bad. But so you're sitting there going, Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with DC. AT&T bought Warner Brothers after AOL had Warner Brothers, neither of which knew what to do with Warner Brothers, who didn't know what to do with DC. Now you have Discovery that doesn't know what to do with Warner Brothers or HBO or DC. You have this weird conglomerated unit of Warner Brothers at this point with everything cycling around each other.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, and Discovery doesn't know what to do because Warner Brothers never figured out what to do.
Yeah, they should just fire everyone and start over.
I mean, it's miraculous that Marvel has managed to do as well as they have with their movies, considering the fact that they had, what was it, Ron Perlmutter, who was fucking everything up on the back end, but there was a strong enough voice with the other guy to just keep the reins in check.
Yeah.
Warner's never even had that. They're trying to hire someone, but you can't just hire someone for that role. It has to organically happen.
Yeah. You had to have someone that has that passion with it, too. They're Jon Favreau.
A couple of nerds who just really like the superheroes.
Yeah.
Will just do what they want. Yeah. But aren't creative guys. Because that's the thing about, what's his name, the guy in charge of Marvel.
Kevin Feige?
Feige, yeah.
Feige,
Whatever.
Feige.
Feige.
I don't know how to say it.
We'll just say it differently every time. Kevin Figo.
Kevin Figo.
I like to melt the Figo a little and then dip bread in it. Anyway, so Kevin over there at Marvel, he's not a creative guy. He's a producer.
Yeah.
But he knows just well enough how to bring people in to do the production side of things, to let them have a voice. I think where things are struggling with Marvel is that Feig or someone up there is trying to get a little too creative in their crafting, and it's kind of going off the rails a bit in Phase 4.
I think COVID kind of messed up a lot of stuff, too.
Yeah, it's like a writer's strike, but for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, they could recover.
Yeah.
They could recover.
I think they will. Because I haven't hated anything they've done.
Right, yeah. Whether or not the DCE or any version of the DCEU can recover, let alone Warner's or Discovery, that's another matter.
Yeah, I'm trying to remain optimistic, but I can't. I don't know, just them canceling all those Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah.
And it just seems like when you're starting to axe content like that, that's not a good sign.
No.
So
well, it's the goal of, I think his goal when he came in was to cut $3 billion from the HBO coffers.
Yep.
Or the Warner Brothers coffers, and in doing so, amusingly, apparently cut $20 billion from their market cap. So backfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was from
Discovery.
So that makes a lot more sense because
Yep.
I kept trying to read about it and I'm like, oh, I'm so angry.
Yeah. No joke. Anyway. Fun times. So while it still exists on the app, I'm going through and watching The Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably pick that up.
It's such a good show. I hadn't reviewed it for the website, and I'm like, I go back in.
Really?
What? No, I hadn't.
Wow.
Well, it came out years before I'd started the website
And
back
it's
up.
still
Oh my god, it's so relevant.
There you go, relevant.
Yeah. So good. Like, I watched back, I'm like, I'm just going to watch it and have it on the background, and then I just found myself absorbed in it again.
You can't not love it. Second season, which is arguably I personally think is the worst season.
The boats.
But still kind of good.
Yeah, well, they're all kind of good. So. But it's like, the thing I appreciate about The Wire now, going back through and watching it a second time, is like the elements that you saw at the end of the show about how all the problems in Baltimore are systemic.
Yeah.
Start in the first season, you just don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole arc to the series that was clearly plotted from the beginning that you didn't realize until you go back and watch it again. It's kind of amazingly good. So.
Stupid gentrification ruining it.
I think that's what happened there.
Just let me have my moment.
Okay. I just want this.
Goddamn gerrymandering.
Maybe that's a little more accurate.
Those carpetbaggers.
Anyway, go watch The Wire. And
if you haven't yet, what have you been doing?
Seriously, right? Go watch The Wire and just ignore everything DC is doing for the next couple of years because it's going to be a shit show. Yeah.
Ooh, Barry too.
That's a good one.
Oh, no, it's on HBO, though.
It is. I've been watching Euphoria also, which is another good one on HBO. Yeah.
What's scary is Euphoria is very popular amongst high school students.
You know, I have a feeling that it's supposed to be a cautionary tale, but...
They're not taking it that way.
No, it's probably inspirational for them, isn't it?
It is.
Aspirational. Yeah.
Like, I had to stop a couple girls yesterday in class talking about their body counts. And I was like, girls, I know what that means. I also watch Euphoria.
I have to, just to keep up with you.
And they're like, what?
Well, it's like, okay, so it's like Fight Club in that respect.
Yeah.
Like, Fight Club is clearly a cautionary tale about a really fucked up dude with a brain disorder. And then all the weird, dumb 20-year-old white guys who watched the movie were like, yeah, this is cool, let's do a Fight Club. Clearly taking the wrong message from it.
That's not what it's about,
That's what it's
guys.
about. Same with Euphoria. It's like, you do know that this is about a girl who can't recover from drug addiction and all the other addictions her friends are suffering from. Like, that's the point of the show. And they're like, woo, these guys, they're so sexy.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming. Knowing teenagers.
It's guys or the girls. Depends on the teenager.
I mean, the guys can think that the guys are sexy, too. I'm not going to argue with that. That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. It's a transgender character on the show. We shouldn't be judgmental.
No.
About that part.
No.
About everything else.
Yeah. It's like, clearly this wasn't meant for your generation, but... Well, I mean, older Gen Z, I guess.
I mean, technically it wasn't meant for the kids right now, because the show's, like, clearly set in, like, 2018, 2017. Yeah. They talk about Bitcoin like it's a good thing, and you sit there going,
Bitcoin? Let me invest some of my money in that.
Yeah, there is no way that could ever be a Ponzi scheme, no.
What do you mean, NFTs? That sounds like a good thing.
Still better than House of the Dragon, though.
Yeah. I'd rather buy 100 NFTs from Funko Pops
than have to watch House of the Dragon.
That
is a bold statement right there, and probably worth your money at that point. Yeah.
Because I did not know that Funko Pops has NFTs that they
Everyone
sell.
has NFTs.
I know, it's stupid.
It's probably NFTs of like figures from the DCEU too.
Ugh.
Just to bring it back around.
Yeah.
So
HBO.
It's not TV, it's NFTs.
You got the NFT on the HBO and TTYL.
Anyway, let's all just be mad about Batgirl for the next like 5 years. And then at some point it's going to leak out and we'll be able to get a bootleg copy off like the convention circuit.
Well, yeah, one of those weird backwater conventions.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Keaton isn't wearing his costume, but it's still pretty cool. He has green balls taped all over him.
I gotta admit, if it was just Michael Keaton wandering around in like just a loose dress shirt and jeans, I would buy that as Batman.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm retired. I'm just gonna be old man Batman and just like hang around in my dungarees.
Yeah, that's why you think Multiplicity is really just Batman 2.0. Or Birdman.
I would watch Beetlejuice if he just hung around in his dungarees. I'm just telling you, like, no makeup. He's just doing the voice and the smile. I would watch a Beetlejuice sequel for that.
I miss Michael Keaton.
How do you miss him? He's still around.
What has he been in? Like, he was in Birdman, which was cool.
He was also Vulture in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
The only villain I think that the MCU hasn't killed off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for Abomination.
I mean, they revived all these Spider-Man ones in the third film.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
But they all turned good guys at the end, though.
Yeah, so it's not really villains anymore. Anyway. All right. Well, this has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. Still lamenting the loss of Batgirl.
R.I.P. Batgirl.
Would she have been Barbara Gordon? Was that?
I don't think she was. I thought she was supposed to be, what's her face?
Cassandra or the third one?
The third.
Stephanie
no,
Brown?
Stephanie,
No.
Not Stephanie.
Not Stephanie Brown.
Because Cassandra, maybe, I don't know.
Cassandra
maybe
Cain, though, was Asian, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She was Tibetan, I think. I don't remember. It's been a while.
I don't know. I know that the Jim Gordon in the movie was going to be the J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
So it was a white Jim Gordon. But then Barbara was adopted anyway, so it doesn't...
Yeah.
She could
I
be
guess
adopted
it
from
doesn't really matter.
like his detective partner instead of whatever, like cousin or some shit. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know.
I remember.
The whole Gordon family is just fucked up anyway.
Welcome to comic books.
Anyway. I am Mike, not Two-Face Finkelstein, because they didn't call me for Batman Forever.
It didn't?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I was 12, but I think I would have killed it.
I think you would have done better than Tommy Lee Jones.
Exactly. You are.
Josh Schaefer, still disappointed.
And we will see you next time.